Good morning guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the 52 week project. Once again we are back to really shoddy camera work. Unfortunately we are just about to leave Iceland and go to London on a flight. So yeah, it's a bit rushed this morning, so I really do apologise for once again having a not so technically great video. Anyway, next week I'm sure we'll improve on that. It's just while I'm travelling where we just have these circumstances, and there's times where I'm constantly on the move, and this is just unfortunately an easier way to do it. But anyway, so I apologise for that. So yeah, this week I am in Iceland. However, my 52 week project photo shoot that I'm going to talk about this week was done in Sweden I think it was about a week ago now. And it was definitely an interesting shoot for me because it was actually, or it had been snowing. So we were walking around in, I think it was like -7-degree weather or -5-degree weather. It was quite cold. It was a nice sunny day, which was great, but it was very, very cold outside. So unfortunately, there were times where we were just getting so cold that we had to kind of go back inside and get the model to change and get her into the next outfit and ready to go. So yeah, definitely something that I haven't experienced before, doing a photo shoot in the snow. Being from Australia doesn't really happen often. That was really good and gave my photos probably a different look. And I really loved Stockholm as far as backdrops were concerned, and the types of buildings that we were able to shoot against. They were just so beautiful, and the colouring of them, the streets were really cool and modern, but they still kind of had that old feel to them. So I think we got some really good street shots this week, and I think that's what I was aiming for with this particular shoot, was to really do and focus on a bit of street photography and street fashion. So I'm going to show you guys the behind the scenes from the shoot, and hopefully you enjoy it. Hope you liked the behind the scenes from this week. So now I'm going to go through some of my images, and I'm going to show you guys the images, or the final images first, and then I'm going to go through with my critique and let you guys know what I thought about each image and what I think I probably could have improved on, or what I did well. So guys, I'm going to go through all of the photos from this week now and give them a bit of a critique of my own. This is the first photo that I'm going to show you guys from the week, and it isn't my favorite shot. I think it was one of those shots that I liked better on camera, then got it back on my computer later on and just didn't like it as much. Yeah, it's not going to be in my top 5 this week. I just don't think there's enough going on in the shot. Even the composition for me is very boring. It's very centered, but nothing else is really going on. So I just feel like it's not that interesting of a shot for me. So not going to be in my top 5 this week. This shot I actually do really like, although I think for me, the outfit of this series I didn't like it as much as the other outfit we'd chosen. I think the other outfit was just a little bit better put together, I think, and for me, although I loved the jacket, I felt like we just didn't have enough to work with in terms of accessories and other things to go along with it. And for me, I just didn't like it as much as the other outfit. So I think those photos for me just didn't turn out the way that I initially planned them to. However, in saying that, I do like this shot. I do think that maybe it would have been better in the other outfit for this particular shot, but I like it, but it's not going to be in my top 5, unfortunately. This is one of the photos that I did actually really love this outfit in, and I think the harshness of the light on Anna's skin and on the clothing kind of helps give it that edgier look, and I think that's what I really like about this image, so I am going to put it in my top 5 this week. I love the shadows in the background and the lighting in the shot, so yeah, really it did actually stand out to me in terms of all the shots that I took, and that's why I want to have it in my top 5 for this week. This photo I actually really like of Anna. I think it's just a really nice, simple portrait. I really, really love the colors or the tonings in the shot as well. I like how they turned out. If there's one thing that I probably could have done better, it's the skin editing. I mean, I really did minimal skin editing, but I don't know, I felt like maybe I could have added a little bit more texture to her skin, but as you can see, if I zoom in, I really haven't edited it a lot, but I think from a zoomed out point of view, it does kind of look like it is, but anyway, I do like the shot, and I'm going to have it in my top 5 for this week. This is another photo that I sort of thought was going to be in my top 5, but I did actually like a similar photo that I'll show you guys soon, and I think I like that one better for my top 5. I just think this one's losing a little bit of interest for me. There's not enough going on in the shot, so I think if I'd taken from maybe a lower angle even, it would have been more interesting, so not in my top 5 this week. This photo I actually really like, and I think I like it because it incorporates the background really well into the shot. It doesn't necessarily show all the clothing, but I do kind of like Anna's stance, and I like her expression, and I really just love how the backdrop sort of comes into the shot, and I like the lighting, and I think it just came together in the end overall for the shot. So it is going to be in my top 5 this week. This shot is another photo that's going to be in my top 5, and I just kind of like how it's shot from a lower angle. You know, if there's one thing that I'm going to pick out in this shot, it is the composition. I did cut the feet off completely in the shot. I do cut off limbs sometimes when I think it works in a shot, but I think for this particular photo, maybe it could have done with the feet as well in the shot. In this particular case, but other than that, I do really love how I got the background into the shot again, and I used the reflection on the window to do that. I just kind of think it gives it a bit of an edgier look as well as a backdrop, and I love Anna's expression, I love her outfit, so I do think this is going to be in my top 5 this week, even though the composition for me is not 100% good. This is a really interesting photo for me because, and some of you might disagree, maybe some of you guys like this photo, but I don't know, there's something for me that didn't want to make me put it in my top 5. I do like how I added the grain and the black and white. I think it does suit black and white for this particular shot, but I don't think, for me, it's just the shot that I wanted. I think there's just a few things that could have been improved. The composition a little bit more because the lines for me aren't leading straight into the shot, and it's just kind of like a little bit off for me, and also Anna's expression I kind of like, but it's just not 100% for me. So I think for this shot, it's not going to be in my top 5 this week, but it's not the worst shot. I think, you know, I still like parts about it. This is definitely one of my favorites for this week. It is going to be in my top 5. Once again, for this week, I don't know, my composition I think in a lot of shots were just a little bit off. I think for me, I could have included the bike completely in this shot and lined it up a bit better, but I do really love Anna's expression and she just looks awesome in this shot. So yeah, 100% for me, that is in my top 5. I did ponder about this one for a little while and have a think about whether I wanted it in my top 5, but I decided not to because once again, there just wasn't enough going on in the shot. I think I could have directed Anna a little bit better or got her to do a different pose to make it a little bit more dynamic. So I think for this one, it's not going to be in my top 5, although I do really like how the background comes into the shot, but it's just not interesting enough for me. So guys, for this week, this image here is going to be my number 1 image. I really like how it turned out, and I like the colors of it. I love well, I wouldn't say I love the composition of it. That's probably the only thing that's kind of off for me in this shot, but I do love how Anna looks, and I think it does have a good fashion element. So that's what I'm trying to aim for with this series, is trying to push through with that. So I really did like it and like how it turned out. So it's going to be my top photo for this week. And you guys might agree, because I think there's like a few photos in there where I originally thought that was going to be my number 1, and then I was like, no, I don't even like that photo anymore. And you don't always know what it's going to really look like until you've finished your editing or you've got it up on your computer screen and you can actually see it in good detail. So for me, this isn't particularly one image that I thought initially was going to be my top photograph for the week, but in the end, it's the one that I liked most, so it's my number 1. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go through what I think I did well this week and what I could have done a little bit better. So what I could have done a little bit better, I think, comes down to more patience. I think what I did well last week, I think it was last week, was that I did actually take my time with a lot of the shots, and I was making sure that I was getting the shots that I needed. But this week I felt like I was just rushing a bit more because obviously it was really cold, and I don't want to use that as an excuse, but I did find myself being quite rushed this week and taking some of the shots. I think I could have probably been a bit more patient with taking photos this week. And the thing that I did well was I think I really explored the genre of street photography, and I just think it was a bit of an interesting shoot for me. Like I'm still getting into the groove of doing some street shoots because I don't always do street photography. Usually I do like on location shoots and that sort of thing, but this was definitely geared towards street fashion, so it was a little bit different for me. So I think I did sort of explore that genre well, and I'm sort of getting used to taking more full body shots and showing off the environment that the model is in a little bit more as well, because like I said, before the 52-week project I was very focused on portraits a lot of the time and not so much full body shots and actually getting a lot of the fashion in the shots. I think that's something I'm learning to do well as time goes on. So guys, I hope you really enjoyed this week's episode of the 52-week project. If you'd like to join our Facebook and Flickr groups, you can do so down below. I've got the links in the description box. I'm not really active on the Flickr group, but I am on the Facebook group more often than not. Just while I'm traveling, I just can't be everywhere at once, unfortunately, but I am more active on Facebook. If you'd like to follow some of my adventures at the moment, like I said, I'm currently in Iceland, so we should have some vlogs up soon from Iceland. You can follow my travel vlogging channel called Wonderwalkers with my boyfriend Dan, and that is down below also in the description box, so you can click on the link and go check out our vlogs from that channel. Thanks again for watching guys, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do, and I will see you next week. Bye!